You know what today calls for? A little bit of spice. No, not the emoji. Although that would be cute. I'm talking about a real little kick. A fiery fiesta in your mouth kind of spice. And you know what happens to pair perfectly with a little bit of spice? A whole lot of sweetness. That's why today we're making the ultimate comfort food with a spicy twist. Hot honey chicken tenders? I first saw this dish on TikTok and it was love at first sight. Crispy golden chicken coated in a sticky, sweet, spicy glaze that hits all the right notes. It's no wonder it went viral. But can we really recreate that magic here in our kitchen? Well, today we're going to find out because we are making a copycat recipe. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm a wife, a mom, and a full-time software engineer who loves to cook. So stick around because I'll show you how to make amazing home-cooked meals without all the fuss. The original recipe does not have any reviews yet. However, I did look through the comments to see what people were doing differently to achieve the perfect chicken tenders. And after reading through all of them, I noticed that the most common denominator for success was letting the chicken marinate for as long as possible. So obviously, the longer, the better. In a large bowl, add in your chicken tenders, or if you're starting with a whole raw chicken breast, go ahead and slice it into thin strips like this. Then add in 1 cup of buttermilk. The acidity from the buttermilk helps to break down the tough proteins in the chicken and gives it a super juicy and tender texture. Next, add in 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Just a dash of hot sauce for that initial flavor punch. I'm using Frank's Red Hot, but use whatever you've got. Or skip this if you're not into spicy food. Mix it all together, and then cover this with plastic wrap. Or, if you're fancy, you can use a lid, and then refrigerate this for at least 30 minutes or up to overnight if you have the time. The longest I've ever marinated chicken tenders was 3 days. So if you've got some extra time and you're trying to squeeze out every last bit of flavor, then go for it. While the chicken is happily marinating away, let's move on to the next step. In a large bowl, add in 2 cups of flour, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, half a teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Cornstarch is the secret here. You may not think that it will make a difference, but trust me when I tell you that it makes the coating extra crispy. And if you don't believe me, then just read the comments. Everyone raved about how crispy their chicken was when they added in the cornstarch. Mix it all together with a whisk and get ready for the crunch. Once your chicken has finished marinating, you're going to remove it from the bowl and then add it into the flour mixture. Make sure to remove all the excess marinade from the chicken. If you don't, the breading won't stick properly, and then you'll end up with a soggy mess. And no one wants that. Take each piece of chicken and then press it into the flour mixture to coat it evenly. We want that craggy, crunchy crust that you see in the pictures. For extra crispy tenders, you can double dip. So once you've pressed the chicken into the flour mix, you're going to dip it back into the buttermilk and then press it again into the flour. The science behind this is pretty simple. The second time that you dip it into the flour, it gives the chicken another protective layer of breading which helps seal in the moisture while it fries, and it also gives you double the. When you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Yay! Let's go check on our chicken. It's been about 1 hour and 45 minutes now. So I'm just going to go ahead and rinse it off, pat it dry, and then let's check the internal temperature. Looks good. We're going to let this rest for 10 minutes before we fry it. Frying raw chicken right away from the freezer or straight out of the refrigerator is gone now cause the oil temperature to drop, and then your chicken will end up greasy instead of crispy. And we don't want that. While the chicken is resting, let's get the oil ready. Add in enough oil to fill the bottom of your pot about 2 inches high. You can use any neutral flavored oil like canola oil, rice oil, or vegetable oil. Place the pot on the stove on high heat and then use a candy thermometer to monitor the temperature. Once the temperature reaches 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius, you're good to go. If you don't have a thermometer, it's okay. Just use the fry test. Add a tiny bit of flour into the oil. If it sizzles and it looks like this, then the temperature is just right. Now let's fry our chicken tenders. Add a couple pieces of chicken into the hot oil, and then lower the heat to medium to ensure that the oil temperature doesn't get too high. Do not overcrowd the pot. If you do, the temperature will drop and the chicken will end up greasy. Make sure to flip the chicken halfway through, so both sides are fried evenly. And you'll know it's time to flip when you see that the tops are golden brown and slightly puffed up. Continue frying until the chicken is golden brown, crispy, and fully cooked. You can either cut into it to check, or you can use a meat thermometer. I'm going for an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, or 74 degrees Celsius. Depending on the thickness of your chicken, this should only take about 5 to 6 minutes. Once it's done, you remove the chicken from the oil, and then place it on top of a wire rack or paper towels to drain. Repeat this process with the remaining chicken tenders and keep them warm in a 200-degree oven while you prepare the hot honey sauce. In a small saucepan, add in 1/3 cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of hot sauce, 1 tablespoon of butter, and a pinch of chili flakes if you like the heat. Warm it over low heat until the butter melts and everything blends together. Taste it and then adjust the seasonings accordingly. Sweet, spicy, and buttery. It's the perfect complement to the crispy, juicy chicken tenders. Now for the finishing touch. Brush or drizzle the hot honey sauce on top of your crispy chicken tenders. This is key because the sauce seeps into all those crunchy bits, and it gives you that glossy, sticky, irresistible bite. These chicken tenders are ridiculously good on their own, but if you're looking to serve them with a side of ranch, blue cheese, or maybe some barbecue sauce, then go ahead and add it to a wire rack or plate. And if you're enjoying this recipe, please hit the like button because it lets me know that you appreciate the work that goes into making these videos. Also, subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss out on any of my future recipes. Now let's talk about what you could serve with your hot honey chicken tenders. The sky's the limit, but I've got a few ideas. How about some creamy mashed potatoes, or maybe some crispy roasted sweet potato fries? And for the greens, why not try some spinach with garlic, or a simple green salad with a tangy vinaigrette? So what are we waiting for? Let's dig in. These bad boys are so good. It's like a party in my mouth. A spicy, sweet, crispy, juicy fiesta. Oh, and don't forget to save room for dessert. I've got some cinnamon sugar donuts waiting in the wings. They're insanely delicious. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. Until next time, happy cooking and stay spicy.